Just like the game of soccer where you have skillful players playing in the pitch, yet there are backup players at the bench. What is their role? Their primary role is just to be there to fill the gap when those people are tired or when it seems as if one or two of them sustain injury. The same thing is applicable to relationship. Have you ever find yourself in a relationship whereby you see yourself frustrated and the cause of your frustration is because you are not the priority of your partner. You find yourself as a backup plan. You find yourself as an option. You find yourself as just a passerby player and not a lead actor. If you find yourself in such scenario or you are seeing yourself in such case, my dear, you are a bencher in that relationship. And that is what we shall be considering on today's episode of A Time Out with Oma. I welcome you. I brought you good news today. And I welcome you to your most exciting station, Bua Community Voice, where we amplify your voice, where we make your voice to matter so much to the society. The voice reaching out to you, the person that have graced your screen today, is not a person boy, your amiable host, Omar. All right, if you're just joining us now, you're quite early to the program because I'm here to unveil the topic of today. You know, I always feel a kind of indifference, misfeelings when I'm talking about love-related topics because love is a very deep word. This love is a deep word and is a serious business. It is not a game. If you are right out there and you're seeing it as a game, please, you have to correct that conception because it is not a game but a real deal. And as such, it is a deal meant for matured minds. If you're not matured enough, please don't get involved with the deal of love. All right, at the course of the introduction of this program, I link it with the case of soccer players, you know, whereby you have the backup players, those at the bench, and those in the pitch, those putting the effort, those playing, those that are being used as the lead players. Yet you are just there, waiting for anything that will happen so that those people will be taken out of the pitch for you to fill in their gap. There's some persons out there that are passing through this situation in their relationship. So if you're passing through such situation, you are being benched, and that is what benching in relationship means. When you talk about benching in relationship, it refers to you not being the priority, rather you are the backup partner. But there is some manipulative thing that some partners usually do, and that thing is them not making you to feel as if you are not the backup player. They make you to feel alone. They go with the rhythm, yet inside their heart you are the backup partner. You are nothing but the bencher. And how will you know when such thing is the case of your relationship? That is why I got you. So stay glued to the screen and pay adequate attention, because if you have been battling with your relationship, I bet at the end of today, you will know whether you are the bencher, the bench, or the priority in that relationship. So, having said that, when we talk about benching a relationship, is you not occupying the full commitment, you not receiving actually the full commitment that is meant for you in that relationship. You're just there. You don't even know your move. You don't know the next line of action. As in, that situation can be so draining and frustrating. A situation whereby you are just there, you are not being carried away spontaneously the way it's supposed to be. You're just there, filling in the gap, waiting for something to happen, or you're just there because your partner is just trying to woo the second person. And if the second person don't accept, he will still come back to you. Hello, relationship, love situation is not supposed to be there. It's not supposed to be like that. If someone is into you, the person ought to be into you with every bit of the person's life, and not the case of uncertainty, and not the case of breadcrumbing. We are still going to come towards that maybe in our next episode, what breadcrumbing in relationship entails. So it entails every form of seriousness, every form of certainty, every form of seriousness without doubt. That is what love and relationship entails. Now you'll be wondering, how do I know that I'm being benched in my relationship? Okay, the first step is when you experience inconsistent communication. You know, just like every other person will say that communication is the basis of every relationship. For me, you can communicate without comprehension. So communication and comprehension work hand in hand. These are the vital things that keep our relationship stronger. If there is no communication, there is no comprehension. That relationship is not going to yield a great result. So when there is inconsistency in communication, you have to check what you have with the partner to ensure that what you have is on the right track. Because if it is not, that is when you have to start scrutinizing, sieving other things to ensure that you're on the safer side. So the next one is when you are not being prioritized, when you are not being included in the goal and the plans, especially when it has to do with the future plans of your partner. For example, you keep hearing I when I get married. Yet you have a boyfriend, you're having a communication with your boyfriend, and your boyfriend is saying, when I get married. For instance, don't get me wrong, your boyfriend is saying, when I get married, when I have my home, when I have my kids. You don't hear statement. There is always constant usage of first person pronoun instead of the second person pronoun. You keep hearing things like when I and I, me and I alone, all the time. Auntie, uncle, you are being benched. Relationship supposed to be we. You hear statement like, we are in this together. When we get married, when we start having kids, what can we do to put this on the right track? What can we do? What can we do to make this work? Do you understand? It's not supposed to be a matter of what I, when I don't know whether I'm communicating, but the bone of contention here is there is supposed to be we in a relationship instead of I. There should be I when there is need for correction, when there is need for adjustment from a partner that is not doing the right thing. That is when the I will come. But the I coming there is you trying to be willing to make an adjustment. Then the next partner will, fill in the gap. Well, when you keep hearing the first person pronoun in your relationship, you have to question what you have with the person. So apart from inconsistent communication and you not being prioritized, the next one is when there is no progress in that relationship. When that relationship lacks progress, that means something is wrong, especially when you have done everything possible to bring development or growth to that relationship, and it seems as if you're pouring water on a dry stone. That is one reason that will make you to question what you have with your partner. Then, from that, you look at being hidden in a relationship. If you are being hidden instead of being shown to people that matters to your partners. Who are those people that matters to your partners? Family and friends. You are being hidden. He don't want his family to know that he's going out with you. He doesn't want his friends to see you. That means there is another person out there that his family or his friends know. The same thing with the girl. If your girl is not proud of you, proud in the sense that she doesn't want you to get identified with her friends, she doesn't want you to get identified with her family, especially when she's matured enough. Do you understand what I mean? For instance, you're dating someone that is in higher institution or someone that is done with school, and the person don't want you to know the important people that matters to her life. That means there is something that person is hiding. There is nothing you will tell me. There is no two ways about it. Okay, my colleague Precious, he said that I always have a story. Okay, I had an experience like that sometime in the past. Okay, there was this particular guy. We were good friends. Yeah, should I say that we dated? We did not. Okay, let me not call that dating because we were just good friends. But something happened that over the time he hardly he hardly introduced me to people that matters to him. I don't know whether you're getting me. For instance, even when I try to make him to understand that I don't know your people, I don't know your family, I don't know your siblings, you don't even show. The only thing I know is that you show me their pictures. That's all. Whereas we are staying in the same city, I don't know them. You've never for one day invited me to the house. You've never for one day post me on your status. You've never for one day post me on your wall. Yet you're posting other people. What is wrong? Am I not good enough and all that? You'll be like, calm down. Why am I showing you off to the world? When they will soon know who you are. He kept giving me that flimsy excuse until I got to know there was actually someone out there for him, whom the parents, whom the friends are aware of. So what am I trying to say here? A situation whereby you are being hidden in a relationship. Check that relationship. There is 75 tendency that there is another person out there that your partner don't want you to know. So when that is the order of the day, it is a room for you to, check what you actually have with the person and see if there will be balance. If not, you have to make a U-turn because you cannot be in a situation, you cannot be in a relationship whereby you are being seen as a just in case item and not a priority item. Just in case implies if the other person that I have deeper feelings for doesn't work, I will come back to you. You are far beyond that. You are loved, and everyone that's supposed to come to your life, be it a male or female, supposed to show you that love that you so much deserve. So, having said that, moving forward and finally, how can we balance this benching in relationship? How can we curb it? The first thing for me is to give yourself a time frame in a relationship. What is your reason of entering into that relationship? Why do you accept the proposal to be on a relationship with someone? Are you just there to have fun? Are you just there because you are seeing a future together with a person? You give yourself a time frame. You give yourself, for example, within this period, let's say within the period of a year to a year and 6 months or 2 years max, and this person is not saying anything meaningful or serious to move to the next step or level with me, you have to put a stop to whatever you have with the person. Time limit yourself. Give yourself a time limit so that you will know what you are doing, so that you will know when you start loving with your heart or when you start loving with your head. I always advise people, including myself, in whatever relationship you find yourself in, love with both. That's your heart and your head. Because most times, your heart will just cover up your head to the extent that you will not be reasoning like a normal human. Even when the signs are crystal for you, but you are blind to the signs because you've allowed your heart to take a grip of you, which is not supposed to be. Then the next one is recognizing your worth. You know that this particular attitude that I'm getting, I am bigger than it. I am worth beyond this. I am loved. That's why I always advocate for self-care. Self-care, the importance of affirmation, positive affirmation. You know who you are. You know your self-worth. You know your value as a human, as a man, as a woman. So that when you know your value as a man or woman, you will understand the fact that any other person that is coming into your life is just coming to complement what you have already, and not to bring what you have. I don't know whether I'm communicating here. When you know your worth, you will understand the fact that anybody coming into your life as a partner is coming in to complement you. To complement is to add value, extra value to the value already in existence. But when you don't know what you have, when you don't know your worth, you don't know who you are, you don't know what your attributes are, anybody can just come into your life, shatter it, and go out like that, and leave and go out, thereby leaving you empty, which is not supposed to be. So when you time limit yourself, you set a time limit to whatever you're having. If it is not heading anywhere, you call it a quit and move on with your life. Hello. You move on with your life. Then the second one is, actually, you pay attention to what people do. They say that action speaks louder than words. Some persons will say action speaks louder than voice, no matter whichever way you take it. But let's try to read meaning more to what people do and not what people say, especially when it has to do with love. I am the kind of person that my love language is word of affirmation, acts of service. How far can you go for me? When I don't see that action, when I don't see that doings and all that, to me, I can't take you serious. And I know there's some other persons out there that are in that same shoe with me. So what am I trying to say here? If you're in a relationship, you don't enter into relationship like a moron. You enter there with your senses intact, so that you can be able to identify when someone is playing on your feelings, when someone is gaslighting you, when someone is orbiting, when someone is just breadcrumbing, so that you will know the differences between infatuation, obsession, and true love, and know what you stand for. Because when you know what you stand for, that is you knowing your self-worth. That is you identifying your value and standing on what you want. Come rain, come sunshine. That is you. And everybody that will come into your life will respect you for who you are. Finally, in your dealings with relationship, mind you today, if you don't pick any other thing, go home with this point, that you out there looking at me, you deserve who choose you enthusiastically more than who just choose you as a bencher. Do you understand me? Who choose you for who you are? Who choose you for what you represent? Who is willing to walk down the road of life with you? Who is willing to stand with you? Come rain, come sun, come sunlight. Who is ready to know that this is you? Who is ready to understand the fact that you are human? And because you're human, you have flaws. And the only way he can come in is to help you to adjust your flaws, and not to always paint it on your face, even to the detriment of your sanity. You deserve far better than always being in a self-pity relationship. In a relationship that is not heading anywhere, you have to check what you have here. If there is any way any of the things I enlisted today is happening or visible in your relationship, you have to check yourself, so that you don't just be there as a just in case partner. You worth more than just in case. You are full option. And whoever that will choose you must identify, must recognize that fact that indeed you are a full option. And whoever that will come into your life must indeed recognize the fact that you are a full option, and not a just in case that is meant for the bench. You are meant for the pitch. I believe you have picked one or two from today's episode of a Time Out with Someone, where we talked about benching in relationship, what it entails, how you will identify that you are being benched, and possible ways of curbing it so that you can prioritize quality over quantity. You can prioritize your priority over just in case or anything or anyhow thing that the partner might make it to look. You are far beyond that level that partner has kept you. This is still Bua Community Voice, where we amplify your voices, and I bet you that the only thing we give you out here are tips, educational tips, inspirational tips, relation tips that will help you to relearn, unlearn, and be a better version of yourself. That's why you have to tell someone about Bua Community Voice. Like, comment, subscribe, and please be a part of what we do here. And we promise to serve you better. I am no other person but your amiable host, Oma. Until we see some other time, remember that you are a full option and not a just in case that should be meant for the bench. You are meant for the page. See you some other time. Shalom.